Merry Christmas. Will Leach.
Steve, how are you today?
I'm excellent, brother. I'm so happy to see you. Do I look rosy? Do I look like I'm Santa Claus, rosy cheeks?
I thought, yeah, just for a minute, I said, well, who's my special guest interviewer here? You got the gray beard. I'm sure it'll be grown out before next week, but
Yep.
Yeah, you look great, man. What have you been doing?
I'm just getting ready for the milk and cookies tour. Yep.
That's good for you.
So, Will, I'm just love having these conversations with you. Everybody, you need to know this man. This is the Mindstate Marketing Hour with Will Leach.
This guy.
That's right. He's got a book. This all started because I read a book. It's called Marketing to Mindstates by Will Leach. Right? Here's the book. Everybody, hold up your book. Everybody that's watching. It's simplistically how to use science to connect with your clients. And when I read it, I was like, jacked up. I need to meet this guy. He's got a website, the Mindstate Group. Go check it out. Some good stuff there. Will. Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about a lot of things around your book and how to apply it, how the rubber meets the road. But guess what road I need to go down this week because I haven't done my shopping, right? I'm a guy, and shopping is stressful because I never know what to get people. Steve, this is what goes through my mind. Steve, you're going to be judged on the quality of your gift and the thoughtfulness in this gift. And I'm like going, thoughtfulness, all I need is a few minutes to think about this. What's so hard about this? But it is hard. And I do feel insecure about it. And I'm never in a position of confidence.
That's right. And I'm with you too. I was just telling a story that my issue is less about knowing what to buy. Well, maybe it is in the background. It's about since I don't know what to exactly buy, I wait till the last second. And then one time, no lie, I found myself on Christmas Eve night, about 9:30 at night, in fact, and I had to go Christmas shopping for my family. And so I went to the airport because that was the only place that was still open. I went to a gift shop at Palm Beach International Airport. And now I was like, come on, man, we got to do better than this, man. We have got to do better. So everyone got the Florida t-shirts and we lived in Florida, so it was really bad. It was really bad. But there's gift giving, man. There's a lot of stress.
Look at there. So we've got
Hildo, how are you?
Hildo, he's listening. He's got a great book. MBA professor recommended it to me.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, so here's what you're going to learn, Hildo. You never know what you're going to learn, but it's like we're all losers at some point getting gifts.
That's right. That's right. But I'm here to make sure that you're not a loser if you just follow a very easy process that I have learned over many, many bad Christmas gifts that I've given my wife, and those looks that we all have gotten when we give the gift that they don't quite understand why they got it, or it was absolutely the wrong gift.
So if those of you that were enlightened enough to read this book, you're now in a position of confidence to do this because you already innately know that the first step into doing this is what, Will?
You first got to realize it is not just the gift, it is the meaning behind the gift. So you better understand her aspirations. And what we've talked about this before, but I think actually, Steve, what a good way to start off now would be to show that Peloton commercial that we were talking about, because I want to talk less about the commercial, but the impact that commercial had on a lot of guys out there. So have you got that thing teed up?
Yeah, let's so what chapter do I need to read to do better with technology? Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. And where are we? Well, here we go. I think I've got this. Can you see that?
I can see it.
So here comes mom with the daughter down the stairs. It's snowing outside. And what happens next? It's Christmas Day. Look at the gifts on the table. The scene is set. Ready? Tell me if you can hear this.
I can hear it.
Peloton, give it up for our first time ride.
All right, first ride. I'm a little nervous, but excited. Let's do this. 5 days in a row. You surprised? I am. 6 a.m. Yay.
Rising with the sun.
That was totally worth it.
Let's go race in Austin. 50 rides.
She just said my name. A year ago, I didn't realize how much this would change me. Thank you.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Will.
Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about that commercial. Now, so for some of you guys may not know, that commercial was very controversial last year because it resonated or rubbed people the wrong way. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I see Peloton trucks all over this place, right? So I have a feeling they did just fine. But the real part of that commercial was how people responded, saying, "How could a husband give his already beautiful wife a Peloton bike to lose more weight?" And so there's a lot of it was crazy social media all over the place about what kind of a jerk husband is this? He's always pushing his wife or I guess his wife to lose weight. And it blew up. It blew up on people. And, even though in the commercial, she's very happy, there are a lot of women out there that are like, you better never get me an exercise bike. You better never get that. So I kept thinking to myself, this guy was thinking it was the greatest gift ever. And then there's this whole other group of people that could have possibly looked at that Peloton bike and thought, what kind of an a-hole would ever give their wife weight loss equipment, And so I'm going to help you not have to overthink your Christmas gifts. And this is it. The first thing you have to do is figure out her aspirational goals, because aspirations help us feel like superheroes. And the first way to do this, Steve, you want to get a sheet of paper out and you just want to think to yourself, what are all the things that she's looking to do? Is she looking to lose some weight? Is she looking to learn Spanish? Is she looking to just put a whole big list of things that she's looking to do? Things that not what she wants, because anybody can buy gifts that people want. You want to help. You want to buy a gift that she needs. And sometimes we don't really know what we need until we see it. So just get that list out and think through all those little things that you think she wants to have done. And in the Peloton example, I thought losing weight would be a classic. If you're thinking about Peloton, you better have on your list that she wants to lose weight. You got to have it on your list, or it's not going to make any sense that any kind of weight loss stuff would ever happen in the first place.
I can't believe you're stepping all over those minefields. The reason that guy bought that Peloton is because he wanted it.
That's so true. I once bought a Bluetooth toilet. It's a smart toilet for my house for a gift for us, for our home, her home warming gift. I kept thinking, I want a Bluetooth toilet. Steve, the seat comes up like this. It goes when I'm in the room. It has a heated seat, the whole thing. So you're right. That was not the best gift I've ever given Melanie. It was not the best.
Yeah. Well, this year, be sure to give her the golden toilet instead of the Bluetooth. What a cheap Bluetooth toilet.
Nice plug. That's great. So you got to figure out those regular functional goals. But listen, I can tell you right now, nobody wants to lose weight. They may think they want to lose weight, but that's not really what gets somebody up in the morning. That's not really what gets her up to 6 a.m. to get on a Peloton bike or whatever. There's a bigger purpose, and that is what we call those aspirations. And so you got to get that list out and say, well, what is she aspiring? What is the hero that she wants to be in? And in my head, I kept thinking, it's about maybe, I'm giving an example, being fabulous at 50. That's it. Wife or husband starting to get older, and it's at 50 years old. And this is a new decade, a new life stage, new everything. It's about being fab at 50. You want to buy your gift, Steve, around this aspirational goal of fab at 50 or whatever that higher order thing is.
So should I start with a catalog like Brookstone catalog?
Oh God, this is my mistake. And listen, only as your last resort. So I know you've done this, Steve. I know every guy's done this. When you don't know what to buy, man, go to Brookstone. But you got to be at the last minute, because Brookstone has so many cool things that if nothing else, it'll be unique, right? It'll feel unique. But You don't want to start there, right? Because that's limiting your choices, right? It's going to limit your choices to things that you find are really cool, like a remote control helicopter, or what do they have? Those massage chairs that you get in and then they massage you. Those are gifts for you, Steve. You know they are. They're not gifts for her. They're not gifts for her. Not the jewelry cleaner, the ultrasonic jewelry cleaner that you can buy there. Only as a last resort, guys. Don't do that until it's December 22nd. Then you go to Brookstone. You better go to the one of them all.
But brainstorming about aspirational goals just seems like a lot of work. Well,
oh, no, it's fun. It's exciting. So let's say if you're looking at all those things that she wants, or you think that she wants, she wants to lose some weight, she wants to run a marathon, whatever, all these different things. Then you say, now what's really the big thing? Like, what's that hero? What is that hero moment that she's trying to know that when she gets there, that is all the emotion that everything has to, all these things combined into. And that is whatever that thing is, whether it's Fab at 50 or something else. That's the fun stuff. And it really doesn't take you too long, Steve. It's just kind of just knowing yourself and asking that one question we ask all the time. Why is that important? Why is that important? Why is losing weight important? Ask yourself twice. Same thing we do all the time. Ask that question twice, and you'll get to a higher order, more aspirational goal. That hero she wants to be. She wants to be fabulous at 50.
so give us some tips on how to ask her those questions when it's not obvious, where we can start to identify these things.
Yeah. So the one thing I would do is not ask. That makes you look needy, right? Don't ask him. Well, not at first. What you have to do is look at what she has on the table. So when Melanie, my wife, she has magazines that she reads. And when she go on her Facebook feed, you could see Facebook pages that she likes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why she's engaging with that content could be because there's something meaningful in that for her. So go to Facebook pages, see what pages she's a member of or what she's engaged with, and look at her magazines. If it's cooking magazines, maybe some cooking things. She aspires to be a better cook, and why is that aspiring to be a better cook? Because maybe she wants to be better, kind of like the kind of this vision of this perfect, awesome entertainer in the home, right? Mm-hmm. That's the aspirations that you can buy against. So do that. Go to Facebook pages, go see things that she likes. And then if you're still lost, then you may want to have that conversation about, I don't know, kind of where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Those kind of deep, meaningful conversations you have with a glass of wine. Where do you see us? What excites you about the next couple of years? You'll get there.
So what does this hero within mean? What this kind of
That's right.
touchy feeling? That, again, a lot of work. You got to prep to do.
You got to know
gift.
Yeah, you don't do this for your mate that you barely know that helps you mow your lawn. That's not who you do it for. These are for the people that you love, right? Those are where the gifts matter.
Okay.
So remember, the hero within. We all of us have the better version of ourselves that's locked in our brain. Like every day that you go through your existence, most days you're striving for a better self, the hero that you always thought you would be. That's the reason why we get up in the mornings. Now, some of you think you get up for money, but really what money does is something more meaningful. Money allows you to buy things, to get you and do things that get you closer to this idealized person that deep down inside you are, the greatest dad out there, the super handyman kind of workshop guy. You have all these heroes within. Understanding just one of those things, one of those aspirations and those heroes that your wife or your husband deep down wants to be, buy for that, man. Buy for that.
Oh, you're saving my bacon. So there are a lot of folks listening. You're helping us. All right. So now you have step 3 here.
Yep.
Now,
so go ahead.
Cool, because we don't just have a shopping list.
That's right. Listen, see, so if you get the functional things, right, you put those in the list, those are things that are not meaningful gifts. What you've done by finding out her hero within is you've expanded your possible list. So let's say if it was to lose weight, and that if you were buying off of that, you would, what would you do? You'd okay, I'm going to probably do something around exercise, maybe buy her a pair of shoes, maybe some new, workout equipment, right? That's when you go to aspirations. If she wants to be fab at 50, now you're talking about you expanded your list dramatically. You can start to think about coaching. You can start thinking about experiences. You can start thinking about books and products. So what'll happen is when you think about her at a broader, more emotional, kind of aspirational hero within, your list is going to expand dramatically. So I made your life, though in a way it's good, Steve, but now you may have a list of like 40 things like, oh God, we promised we're only going to buy 2 things, right? How do you get that list of 40 down to 2?
Yeah.
Here's how you do it. Narrow it through motivational psychology. So we've talked about this in the past. We desire feelings, right? We're emotional beings. We're human beings. What we really want is to feel something. That's why we buy the products that we get. That's why we love when people give us gifts. It's not the gift itself. It's how the gift makes us feel. Those feelings, those desires map back to one of 9. All feelings, all desires map back to one of 9 motivations or desires. We talk about these in the book. So it just so happens they're in the book, right? It's in, what is it? Chapter on motivations, chapter 7, chapter 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is look and think to yourself, what does she desire? And here are the desires. We've said them before. Success, freedom, acceptance, mastery, control, captivation, or just excitement or a release. So captivation, admiration, or she desires to be admired in some way, love, and security. Those are the 9. So if ultimately she wants to feel those things, you should evaluate that list based upon its ability to give you that thing or give her that thing. So I went back to that Peloton ad and I was like, okay, so would I buy a Peloton ad? Or would I buy a Peloton? All right, it's expensive. I get all that stuff. You got to figure out whether you can afford it, all that stuff. But once you have all the things on that list that you can afford, start thinking about, is that going to deliver that feeling? So let's say, and this is my wife. My wife is just in general, she is driven by the desire to belong. She loves groups. She's an extrovert. She loves parties. She loves to feel like she's a part of a, hey, Yami, thank you. She loves belonging and autonomy, which is a desire for freedom. She doesn't want to be captured in one room. She doesn't want to be told exactly what to do. She wants to have lots of freedom. So belonging and freedom. When I think about a Peloton, I go, okay, would that give her freedom? I don't know about that because I think she wants variety. She seeks variety in exercise. So Peloton would be kind of limiting. In belonging, my wife enjoys people. She doesn't want to be locked in a room, even though Peloton ads make it look really great because they're always glass rooms and beautiful. Right. But she wants to have people. She wants to talk to people. And yeah, you can sit there and you can try to push really hard on this whole idea of like, yeah, she can meet people on Peloton. Come on, that's not true. She desires human interaction. So all of a sudden I look at Peloton, the bike, and I go, I'm not sure if that's the case. And then I look on the other side and I go, okay, but let's say if your wife or your husband was like achievement and competence, so he desires or she desires success and mastery, well, then that makes sense. Okay, Peloton is all about, like, I don't know much about Peloton. I have something different, but I do know that you're going in the classes and you're trying to one up. You're competing against each other. Well, hell, if your wife or your husband loves competition, that starts to sound pretty good because competition is inherently part of that gift. Or to be a better rider, like so mastery, getting better at something, and specifically at biking, right? Well, then the Peloton makes total sense because it is conditioning you to become a better rider. So I'm like, okay, so if that was one of those things that she desires, greater competence or greater achievement or feelings of success, it makes sense. So all you have to do is just go to the 9 motivations, those 9 desires in my book, and just say, how well does that gift deliver on that feeling? And you can start eliminating gifts quickly. Because if you're struggling really hard to come up and to find that linkage with this one gift that you think is cool, it's not cool. It's not a good gift. Get it off your list.
Well, I was like, why did everybody go to that the husband wanted her to lose weight? It was like, what if she was like going to be attempting Mount Everest at some point? Or maybe that was her aspirational. Wouldn't you like want to support her in her fitness goal?
Exactly. I agreed with you. Or what if it was just like, I've been in moments in my life where I've lacked confidence. In fact, I talk about this in my book, where there was a point in time where I lacked confidence in myself. I had a boss that just annihilated my confidence. And you know what I use triathlons for? Like people say, oh, you must be like hardcore type A guy. So I was Ironman. That's not why. It wasn't to achieve anything. It was because training allowed me to control. It gave me a sense of control over my life because I was going to my job and not feeling I had any control over my life. So what if that was it? Like the Peloton could be perfect for somebody who just needs more confidence. It's a great gift. You can achieve levels. You know what you're getting into. You can make friends. So I'm with you, man. I always thought that was a really bad misrepresentation of what that ad was saying. Because it looked to me like in the very end, she's like, "You changed my life for my confidence." To me, so that's what I saw. I never hated that commercial. I always thought that commercial was just fine. But it's the new generation. We love to hate things, so that's what you do. You rally around things like that.
So number 4 here, you
Yes,
come up with a nice list.
So you have this big list, Steve, and now hopefully you had 40 things. You've narrowed it down to maybe 10, let's call it 10. Well, 10's a lot of things. That's a lot of things to get. So if you want to narrow it down even more, you gotta eliminate choices that can't be explained. And we've all been here. Have you ever given a gift? And I did it with the toilet. Have you ever been given a gift or you gave a gift? And then as you give it and they're opening it, you're starting to explain why you bought it. Let me tell you why I got this. And you can tell the story isn't connecting really well. Like you can just tell that you're trying anything you can do to force fit this thing into why you chose this. And I'm telling you, there's a point where every guy knows, every good gift giver knows that if they're trying too hard to figure out that story, you should stay away. Stay away from it, right? Because we've all been there. I did it last year. This is my son. My son is the most, he is so spoiled. He doesn't even know how good he has it. He does not know how good he has it. So he needed a computer for school, but he was used to using iPads, right? Used to using iPads. So he had to have school. He was doing programming. And even as a programmer, he kept saying, I want an iPad. I want an iPad. So for Christmas, Santa got him a new Surface. It was my used one, but he didn't know any better. So it was a Surface computer. Steve, I gave it to him and the kid starts crying. Now, I mean, bawling. And I'm thinking to myself, in what world do you live that you would cry when you get a computer? And I remember trying to explain to him how this is better than an iPod. I mean, an iPad. Like I'm like, this will allow you, it has a keyboard. It allows you to do so much more. But in his mind, it was horrible. I kept trying to justify it. I kept trying to justify and tell him the story about why this is so much better, why I picked this or why Santa got him this. And I remember now thinking back, I'm like, if I would have used this, I never would have done it because the story to get you from the thing that you bought to the thing that they think they need, if that story is too hard to get to, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you think it is. It only matters on how well they know the story and easy it is to connect the story they are. So if you're struggling with the story, you're in trouble. Eliminate anything that you're struggling with the story on.
So you should have got him that Bluetooth toilet. He would have been more jacked up about that.
He uses that. That's the only place that he'll go number 2. My toilet. He goes all the way into our master thing. He has another 2 bathrooms he could use, and he's an only child. He has to go to ours because it has the water thing, has everything. It's awesome. It's awesome. So let me give you another example, man. I'm going to tell you, guys, if you're out there, well, I'll tell you, I don't know. There could be people that want this gift, but I once gave a DNA test. You know those DNA tests? And if I'm honest, I was running out of time, and I went to a Walgreens, and I figured it out. I'm like, there is a good gift. Like that's the gift. I'm going to get the DNA test. And that was not one of my better days, right? Because the story that I had to make up about why I thought this would be such a great thing that you could go you could swab your own mouth and send it, and you're going to get a map back from Walgreens, right? I did because I was just out of options. I had 20 minutes, and I went to Walgreens down the road, and I did it. As I was telling that story about how cool, I was trying to say, well, I know how interested you are with the past. I made that up. Like there's no interest in the past. I never knew anything about that. I thought how interesting it'd be to know that your ancestors may have came from Russia or whatever. And I remember just the look on the face and how awkward that look was. And I'm just going to help you guys out there. if you're going to do a DNA test, you're going to buy a DNA test for somebody, you better make sure that they have some, like they're into ancestry.com, they're
Watch
into
the
genetics,
History
because if they're not,
Channel.
it's the worst gift ever. It's the most awkward gift to give because they look at you like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why would you give me this DNA test?
Yeah.
You get nothing back. You get nothing. One time you mail it and it's gone, and you get an email back saying you're from Spain or you're from Africa somewhere. That's it.
Yeah.
It's over. It's
No,
terrible.
honey, you'll love this. Well, how do I take the test? You spit a whole bunch into this tube. Ooh.
That's right, man. So eliminate choices where if you can imagine you're trying to figure out a way to connect that gift to your significant other, that's not a good gift, man. I'm going to save you some heartache. That's what you do.
All right. So what I'm picking up on, and this because I'm a guy and I'm so intuitive, is that this story behind the gift. Okay. So I never thought about it that way, but you do when you give someone a gift and they open it up and they do the obligatory smile and thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You always support it with your reasoning behind that
The
gift.
story. So my wife has been going to these parties. Have y'all been going to these parties where you go to a party and everybody has to bring a gift that has meaning? And before they, and so like, let's say if you have 5 people at this gift ceremony, I've never been there. It's a girl thing. We should do this maybe. But you go there and you get 5, since there's 5 people, you buy 5 of the exact same thing. Could be anything. And then you tell your story about why it's meaningful to you. And then you give that gift out. There's so much more meaning when you know the story behind a gift, right? And so you're right. Story. We love story. We live in a world of story, man. Narrative psychology tells us that. So yeah, anytime, especially a big gift, like that one special gift that you're going to give to a significant other, wrap that up in a story and there'll always be meaning. My wife's engagement ring, she has a story behind it because we were broke. We didn't have any money. I couldn't afford anything that I wanted to be able to give her, but I designed it myself. So I kind of just sat down, and when I say designed, I mean I came up with the ideas, and I went to a jeweler and I just said, here's what she loves, here's her colors, here's her birthstones, here's what I kind of think in the diamond wood should be. And then I just gave it to a designer and said, can you come back with something? And they came back with something almost overnight and said, here's a couple of ideas. I chose the one. But when I told my story, I told her I designed it, because I guess technically I did. I knew what I wanted in it, but I don't know how to design jewelry, and I don't know the shapes and things like that. And she still, 16 years later, 18 years later, because we're engaged for 2 years, talks about how the meaningfulness of this ring, because I designed it. I designed that thing. And so that whole story of me working with a designer and picking out the stones, I mean, between us, right? Like, I didn't pick out stones. I mean, they showed me stones I could afford. I was like, okay, that's kind of what I can afford. And then they put it into a great setting. But she knows that I designed this ring, and it has so much more meaning than just we bought it at jail or at Zales or Jared's.
So how does, I'm just fascinated, how did you work Batman into your engagement ring?
How do you mean?
You designed it, right? And so you've got the Batman design in there somewhere?
Oh my! Sorry, I'm not going. I was like, Batman. Where's he going? Is this psychological tricking me? No, I was not able to incorporate. Well, though, if you look on the inside, just on the inside of the ring, it's engraved. There's a little signal in the background, right near our date. She thinks it's a heart, but it's really a bat symbol on the inside of the engagement or the engraving part of it. Yeah.
I love it.
So guys, that's it. Use behavioral psychology, not just for your business, use it to better your relationships.
So this story that you weave in here, he's like, all right, the hero and the aspirational image that he or she would be, this gift is going to complement or support that narrative in some way. Yep. And it conveys that you understand them and that you actually put some thought into it. So for example, let's go back to Peloton.
Yep.
She came down, was all excited about it, but we missed the story that he told her about it, right?
That's right.
And so had that been included in that commercial, there would have been a lot less the fat haters, right? And so you would have heard like him go, honey, I know that it's always been a goal of yours to ride across the states, and you have this trip planned coming up next year, but here we are in COVID. And so I thought, what a great thing that this Peloton could help you continue your training so that you really enjoy your trip across America.
You're ready. You're ready. That's it. If they just would have started that, you're right. If they just would have started that commercial, let's go back in the commercial and say, like, Peloton's really about, building confidence. It could have started off like, honey, I knew you had a really hard year this year. A Peloton, done. Like, that just sets up the whole point, especially because she pays it off in the end, saying basically, when she looks at the vlog and she's saying, like, you got me to a place. I'm something I wasn't prepared. I'm something now that I wasn't before. You just paid off the entire narrative arc, right? You started off with the conflict. They built themselves up to a peak, and then they kind of met their realized goal. So yes, so simple. We do it in business all the time. We do it in marketing campaigns. Why wouldn't you do it in real life for the people that you love most?
There you go. So Will, speaking of Superman, what do you got behind your front of your cape there? What are you wearing?
I was wondering if you're going to pick that up. Did you? Yeah. Look at that. I got this awesome t-shirt from a dear friend of mine.
Look at that. ROI online.
ROI online. It just goes really well with this jacket. Yeah. Look, I didn't know you even saw that. That's awesome.
Well, so I was thinking before I sent that, how you like to look buff on these, and that shit would make you look buff. So that's why I sent that.
That goal, it made perfect sense. I saw it, man, this guy gets me. And this guy, he knows that I'm ashamed of my body, but it makes my chest look good. My belly's not so good. So I love it. You give me it, but deep emotional level, right? Anybody could have sent over some koozies, right? Anybody could do that, right? There you go.
There you are, repping the brand. So Will, this has been a year to remember.
It has.
Okay. And so those that are listening right now, we talked about this. I was on a live stream before this, but we talked about what lesson did you learn this year? What'd you learn about yourself? If we were going to talk about your aspirational identity, it wasn't winning. This year didn't feel like winning, but something from this experience has made you feel better about your journey toward your aspirational identity.
Yep. That is a great, profound question. It really is. And you're right. This was not a year for winning for a lot of people. What I learned, and I'm still learning every day, is resilience. I feel like this was a year to push how resilient am I really at my core. Like, there have been moments in my life where I felt like I've had resilience. When I was in the military, you go through basic training. Yeah. You're being pressured every day to just make it through the next day. This year has been a trial of how resilient are you? Are you going to give up? Are you going to take a couple of days off? Or are you going to just try to get one foot in front of the other? I had a student ask me just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a bit sad the way she framed it, but she said, how do you get up in the mornings? Like, it's almost like she was asking for herself. And she was like, how do you get yourself out of bed? Like, because it's hard out there. And I said, every day, even when I don't want to get out of bed, because life is tough right now. There's so much happening. I said, I just put one foot in front of the other. I get in front of the computer and I just start. And all of a sudden I look up and it's about an hour and a half in. And that's resilience building. And I'm going to keep continuing to do that because life is hard. I got to teach that to my son too, because life's going to be very hard for everybody in the future too. So resilience is something that I've learned this year, the importance of it. And not that I'm great at it, because we all don't have great days, but the importance of having the resilience to just take a step forward. It's what God taught me this year.
That's awesome. I'm glad she didn't ask me that, because I would have answered like, well, you don't understand, but as a man gets older, he's got to go to the restroom right away. So yeah. Mine wouldn't have been as profound. No.
Not as profound. I don't believe that. I think it's down deep. I think you would have gotten there.
No, I love that. As you were telling that story, I was thinking about my hero is Ernest Shackleton. Okay, and his moment of greatness, if there was ever a time that 2020 would have fit into the deal was he was going to navigate across Antarctica.
Mhm.
And so this was at 1914. And so he got the boat
Wow.
together, got the team together, went down there, and the boat gets frozen in to the ice.
Wow.
And so they have to sit there for all winter. And then they think, okay, when it starts to warm up, the ice will break, we'll sail away, and we'll be okay. Well, it didn't. And so it started to, the ice actually crushed the boat.
wow.
And he and all of his men, after a 1.5 year ordeal, maybe it was longer, they got back and not one man was lost. There
Wow.
wasn't mutiny. There wasn't cannibalism. And so it's a beautiful story about an awful situation where leadership and persistence got them through an ordeal where really everyone should have perished.
Yep. Wow. I love that. That's some real resilience. Day after day, just getting through the day is the most important thing in Antarctica. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So his family motto before that was about endurance, we, and I'm going to mess it up, but something through endurance, we survive, or we thrive, or whatever. Survive, thrive are two different things, but it's an excellent story. I really encourage you. The book's called Endurance.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's Ernest Shackleton.
Shackleton. I've heard of Shackleton before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous.
It's a beautiful story. You need to read it. There's several books about it.
Yep.
I highly recommend it for everyone. So speaking of gifts for the year, I encourage folks to give Will's book.
Oh, thank you.
In the professional community, it's Marketing to Mindstates. That's right. It's a practical guide to applying behavior design and research in marketing, and how to pick the perfect gift for your loved ones in your life.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I've enjoyed these conversations. We're going to continue doing them all through next year.
Yep.
Give us a little bit, what's on the horizon for the Mindstate group?
Yeah, we have so many things going on, guys. Like, this whole year has been a year of just learning about our market and who they are and what we need, and what they need. And so, we already have book packages are out. We're going to come out in early 2021 with a brand new masterclass that you can download videos and coursework to learn this. I'm teaching at Texas A&M University at the Human Behavioral Lab, so you can be certified in Mindstate Marketing starting in January. So end of January. So one of our first episodes, I'll be pushing that a little bit more, but you can actually sign up and register right now at Texas A&M University's Human Behavioral Lab, where you can learn not even just what I do, Mindstate Marketing, but also behavioral economics and control store testing, all sorts of great behavioral science courses, so you can become certified as an applied behavioral economist. And be on the lookout for even more workshops. So we've revamped all of our workshops. We do personalized one-on-one workshops where you can take the concepts of the book, but we work together to identify your customer's mind state and then tell you how to adjust your messaging, adjust your business processes to match back to somebody's mind state, and kind of getting this emotional kind of connection that you and I have been talking about in the gift giving. You can do the exact same thing with your clients so that they see you as you made me the hero I wanted to be. So tons of great things. I'm really excited about it. And it's almost like I can't wait to just jump right into 2021, because there's nothing but good things coming out of 2020.
2021, it's going to be the time for everyone to take what they learned in 2020. You got more lean. You got more mean. You're a fighting machine, and next year is your year to shine. Yeah. So Marketing Mindstates by Will Leach. You can find him at the mindstategroup.com. And his Mindstate Marketing is a blueprint that offers a framework to identify emotions to connect with your clients. Will, great conversation. I enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays, everybody. Be safe, be with family, and do great things.
Over and out. And that's a wrap.